Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. So it's been a while since I've done a video like this. There's two reasons why. One of the if you're not interested in knowing that, I'll put a timestamp so you can skip to the topic of the video. One of the reasons is I felt quite uninspired, to be honest, and a bit discouraged. Not because I don't have a lot of viewers or anything like that. It's more I'm doing these videos to help other people, but I was feeling like it wasn't helping anyone. So I was starting to wonder if I should keep making these videos. Like, there's no point if my videos don't help anyone. And funnily enough, the second reason why I was kind of on a break is the topic of this video, and is also the reason why I decided that yes, I still have things to say. I still think I can be useful to some people. So another video, another struggle of mine. So I realized during my break that I was spending a lot of time watching streams on Twitch. I was spending all of my free time watching streams. So I realized it was kind of a problem, and I decided to cut back a lot. And I told one of my friends that it kind of felt like an addiction. Addiction was kind of the best use I could find to describe that feeling. And I felt like I was using it to cope a lot with my anxious feelings, and it was very hard to stop. Like, I would start watching a stream and be like, okay, I'll just watch like 5 minutes, but then I couldn't stop. And of course, because technology listens to everything we say, a week later, in my WebMD newsletter, one of the articles in the newsletter was 10 ways to help your soft addictions. And I was like, hi. What are you doing? Like, I felt very called out. I was like, please. But also I was like, I need to know more about this soft addiction thing. Like, why is it the first time I'm hearing about this? So, what are soft addictions? So, NBC News describes it as habits, compulsive behaviors, or recurring moods or thought patterns. Their essential defining quality is that they satisfy a surface want, but ignore or block the satisfaction of a deeper need. They numb us to feelings and spiritual awareness by substituting a superficial high or a sense of activity for genuine feeling or accomplishment. In simpler terms, Judith Wright, the author of Soft Addictions, There Must Be More Than This, described them to WebMD as seemingly harmless habits like watching too much TV, over shopping, surfing the internet, gossiping, the things we overdo but we don't realize it. But the problem with these soft addiction is that they keep us from living a greater life of meaning and satisfaction that we really deserve. So that's exactly how I felt about all my hours spent on watching streams. And I also realized that there was a couple of times in my life where I did turn to soft addictions to cope with stressful times in my life, or times where I was pretty anxious. And I've said it in another video, I'll link it down below, but I was talking about watching tarot readings nonstop and like playing games and stuff. I think often I often turn to soft addictions to cope with my anxious feelings. How do you know if it's a soft addiction or just a hobby? NBC News says it's about the motivation and the function of your behavior that determines whether or not it's a soft addiction. So ask yourself why you're engaging in this activity, and maybe when are you engaging in this activity. In the article, they put forward a couple of clues that you might be engaging in a soft addiction. So the first one is zoning out. Are you mindfully doing the activity? Are you present or thinking of something else while doing it? Can you even remember what you were watching or reading or anything that can apply? The second one is avoiding feelings. So do you use this activity to avoid feeling? ABC News says we avoid feelings by being numb, enhancing the feelings we like to the exclusion of others, or even wallowing in one unpleasant feeling to avoid another. The third one is compulsiveness. Do you have urges to do this activity? Can you stop yourself from engaging in this activity? The fourth one is denial or rationalization. Be honest with yourself. Do you make excuses? Do you get defensive? The fifth one is stinking thinking or cognitive distortions. They say that distorted thoughts prompt indulging in self-addiction in the first place and later let us justify the indulgence. They mention thoughts like, I can't possibly work out if I've already showered. Number 6 is hiding the behavior. Do you feel ashamed when you indulge in this activity? You're probably hiding it because you know deep down that it's not healthy, that you should stop, and that other people would tell you as well. I think for me personally, 2 reasons why I think I'm prone to soft addictions is, I would guess, because like I've said in a previous video, my father was an alcoholic, and from what I understand, part of addiction is hereditary. So I don't know if it would include self-addictions. I tried to find some research, but I couldn't really find anything. I don't know if it's because in the scientific research they call it a different thing, or if it's not something people see as a real problem yet, or I don't know. The second reason is, I think nowadays it's a lot easier for everyone to develop soft addictions with the internet at our fingertip, with all the algorithms that are made to keep our attention. I think it's just kind of easy to escape from the stress of our lives into a soft addiction, because it's not a hard addiction like alcoholism or drug use, then it's kind of more accepted. And especially because I think a lot of people have those soft addictions, it's like it's kind of normalized. Like, how many times do you hear people say, oh yeah, I watched TV until I binged watched this TV show until like 2 a.m. And you see so many shopping hauls on the internet of people overspending on clothing and everything. And with TikTok as well, a lot of people are just mindlessly just watching TikToks one after the other for hours on end. So how do you stop soft addiction? According to WebMD, understanding soft addictions and deciding what soft addictions are causing problem are the first steps. So congratulations. You've pretty much done the first two steps, because by watching this, you kind of, if you were listening, I think you understand what soft addictions are. If you're still watching, I would guess that you probably identified some of your soft addictions. So you've already done part of the work. Congrats. The third step, they say, is to learn about dopamine. For example, while you're indulging in your soft addiction, your brain releases dopamine. And by doing it over and over again, you're just strengthening that connection in your head. So when you try to stop, you get a craving for it. So to counteract your craving, they suggest replacing soft addictions with healthy habits. So going for a walk, for example, I would suggest that you could replace it with an activity that will bring you closer to the person you want to be. Maybe you've always wanted to learn to knit, so you could replace binge watching TV with learning how to knit. Like, find an activity that will add to your life instead of taking away from your life. For myself, I've started to learn how to play guitar. I'm slowly learning. I'm not good yet, and I don't do it every day, but I'm enjoying it. I've also rekindled my love for dancing. If you're following me, you maybe have seen 2 videos of me dancing. And I was never a reader, but I always wanted to start reading, and I've really been enjoying it so far. Right now I'm reading the second book of the Shadow and Bone series, and I'm also reading The Portrait of Dorian Gray. I've never read that one before, so it's pretty interesting and I'm having fun. Next is visualize your success. They say to picture yourself resisting the urge to indulge in your soft addiction, or picturing yourself indulging in the healthy replacement to your soft addiction. And then there's find your triggers. This one is probably the hardest to face, I would think. Facing your demons is quite hard. Like, if you're anxious, instead of making you feel better, kind of facing your anxious thoughts, not fun. But I think if you know what triggers you, you're better equipped to stop yourself from indulging. WebMD suggests to keep a log of what happened before you engaged in your soft addiction. and add details like events, circumstances, and emotions. After that, it's about identifying negative thinking patterns like cognitive distortions, like we talked about earlier, and replacing them with ones that are helpful. They also say that you need to exercise your self-control. They say that self-control is a muscle, so the more you do it, the easier it will get. And then enlist support. You don't have to fight your soft addictions alone. Others can help you avoid triggers, resist temptation, and establish new habits. In the same vein, I would add to this that if you have people in your life that inhibits your soft addictions, then maybe spending less time with this person if it's an option, if you feel like it's the right thing to do. And then the last one is manage your stress. Stress contributes to addictive behaviors, bad behaviors, and other poor lifestyle choices. So if you learn to regulate your stress by exercising, getting enough sleep, and relaxation techniques, then you're better equipped to exercise self-control. Final words about this. This is a reminder also to myself, because I'm also dealing with this. But soft addictions don't make you weak. Fallbacks will happen probably, and it doesn't mean that you haven't learned anything or that you can't get back on track. Changing takes time, so be kind to yourself and give yourself the time to do it. We're doing our best, okay? We're doing our best. So I hope this video was at least a little bit helpful. By liking this video is the easiest way to tell me that I'm doing something right. And it encourages me to keep going. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Maybe. Bye. Let's